about you, and it's no one else like you is what they're getting. Positive vibes only. Shout out to King Saul's boss in the building about you, and it's no one else like you is what they're getting. Positive vibes only. Shout out to King Saul's boss in the building about you, and it's no one.
My life, son.
Saul's the boss. It's his birthday. Everybody wish him happy birthday.
Oh, this is big right here, y'all. Everybody wish Sauce, the official boss, happy. Sauce the boss, yo. Sauce the boss, of course. Send sauce. Sauce the boss, yo. Sauce the boss, of course. Send the sauce. Sauce the boss, yo. Sauce the boss, of course. Send the sauce.
Normal. As he kept recording, panning away from the building, the camera caught something else just a few feet away near the trees. Standing there, half hidden by the slope of the land, something was huge. Only its upper body was visible, but it looked like a massive creature just standing still. As soon as the man noticed it, the figure seemed to realize it had been seen, and then it turned and silently slipped away into the forest, vanishing almost like it was never there to begin with. And here's the part that really gives you chills. When he walked into the woods to check it out, he managed to catch a glimpse of another silhouette. Same strange figure, same vanishing act. Now, in some Bigfoot theories, it's said these creatures might have the ability to become invisible or even shift between dimensions. That could explain why we never get to see clear footage, but why are there so many sightings but so little proof? So did this man actually catch a Bigfoot on camera? Our sense of direction is guided by Earth's magnetic poles. We have the North and South poles, and for centuries they've helped us navigate everything from ships to planes to even modern GPS systems. But recently, scientists have noticed that the magnetic poles are shifting. This isn't the first time it's happened, but what's alarming is how fast it's moving and heading towards Siberia. If this continues, it could cause disruptions, though scientists say it probably won't be fatal to life. But it will cause problems. Our navigation systems could become less reliable. Animals that rely on Earth's magnetic field for migration, like birds, whales, and even bees, could become disoriented. Satellites and radio communication may also glitch out due to instability. And while scientists insist this isn't a threat to human survival, spiritual communities believe otherwise. Many who feel deeply connected to the Earth say this shift could disrupt our energy, leading to heightened emotions, confusion, and even aggression. If true, every living thing on the planet could experience a state of disorientation.
It's over here. Look at these. What the f*** is that?
A man was driving through Colorado one evening when he noticed something strange in the sky.
Shut out the sun. It's over here.
It was sunset, and while the sky remained relatively bright, something odd appeared on the other side of the horizon. A diverging beam of light. It was bright orange, resembling the sun's rays. It was shining from a point we couldn't see. The sun was already in clear view, indicating that whatever was causing this second glow was not the sun. Some skeptics suggest it could be a large streetlight or artificial source, but the brightness and scale of the phenomenon make that seem unlikely. Others believe it might be a celestial body, possibly an unknown planetary object, or an atmospheric phenomenon we don't fully understand. With no definitive answer, the footage is still up for debate. What could cause such a mysterious second light source in the sky?
It's over here. Look at these. What the f*** is that? Check this shit out. The sun.
This shit flipped over and it's shaped as a fish now.
A man boating in Florida spotted something strange just floating on the water, and honestly, it's hard to explain. At first glance, it kind of looked like a fish, but not quite. And what really stood out was this glowing outline all around it. It didn't look like any marine animal you'd expect to see out there. It just hovered above the surface, glowing softly. Now, Florida has been buzzing lately with odd sightings like mysterious lights and strange objects in the sky and sea, and this one just adds to the growing list. Some people think this might be yet another UFO, especially with the increasing talk that these unidentified objects aren't just flying, they're submerged. There's been speculation for a while now that some UFOs might actually come from deep beneath the ocean and not space. So if that's true, was this glowing object something?
It flipped over and it's shaped as a fish now.
If a man really hated ads, here's what he would do. Day 1, he would install Pi on his computer without spending a dime because it's 100% free. Day 2, he realizes how clean and clutter-free his browsing experience has been since he got Pi.
A man shared a video with his wife, and the story behind it is seriously unsettling. He'd been contracted to fix the Wi-Fi in someone's home. At the time, he was working alone. No one else was in the house. It was just him, focused on his task, going about his work like any other day. But then, he heard it. At first, it was barely noticeable, a low, almost inaudible whisper. He brushed it off, thinking it was just background noise, but then it happened again. This time, he swore he heard something. It sounded like a voice, a weak, distant voice whispering, "Hello," or maybe "help." A chill ran down his spine. He was supposed to be alone. Terrified, he pulled out his phone and started recording, trying to capture whatever was happening. Later, he shared the video with his wife, and she was just as unsettled as he was. She decided to post it online, hoping for answers. When the family who owned the house returned, he told them what had happened, and that's when things got even weirder. The owner's daughter admitted that she had also experienced strange things in the house, like shadows moving, unexplained noises, and that eerie feeling of being watched. According to the family, the house was built back in 1954. If something or someone had been lingering there all these years, who or what was trying to make contact? There's nobody in here. From what we've seen so far, we know that governments and certain agencies that run the world have secrets they don't want to get out, and they do a pretty good job of hiding them. But every once in a while, someone snoops around and finds something. Most of the time, these people either disappear or are silenced. Now we have a man from Texas who recently bought an abandoned property with plans to renovate it for an Airbnb service. When he arrived with 2 women to clean up the place, they made a shocking discovery. Inside the property, they found stacks of papers stored in old file cabinets, and on them was the stamp of the Secret Service. That alone suggests highly classified information. They began reading through the files, and the man decided to share some of what he found on social media. This has worried a lot of people about his safety, and rightfully so. He even mentioned that some of the documents contained things he couldn't share publicly, which means he's dealing with extremely sensitive information. As if things couldn't get stranger, he also discovered that the property once belonged to a Secret Service agent who worked for President Lyndon B. Johnson. That's high-level top-secret history right there. The man says he'll continue sharing updates of his findings, but not everyone agrees with his decision. Some believe he's putting his life at serious risk by exposing what could be deep government secrets. Do you think you should keep digging or walk away before it's too late?
File cabinets. We're not 100% sure what to make of it yet, but we found some weird things in it, like this Secret Service folder, some government debrief documents, a picture of George and Barbara Bush with a handwritten letter on the back of it, a bunch of different passports, and a whole lot more.
This next footage comes from Afghanistan, where some villagers in a mountain area noticed something strange climbing up the mountain. The figure appeared tall and skinny, moving extremely fast and effortlessly up the steep terrain. It was so unnatural that it became hard to tell if this was even human at all. But what happened next made it even more bizarre. As the figure reached the top of the mountain, it floated up into the sky. In another clip, someone else filmed something similar, except this time the figure appeared to be glowing a bright red. The lack of clarity in the footage makes it hard to determine what exactly this could be. Some believe it might be a drone, while others suggest it could be a UFO or an otherworldly entity. But what do you think it is? We all know how zombie movies go. Some kind of unknown virus spreads, humans get infected, and before you know it, boom, an apocalypse. But could something like that actually happen? I mean, scientists have actually explored the idea of a zombie virus, but is it as dangerous as what we see in the movies? Could there be a real-life fungus or virus out there capable of taking over a host's body, controlling it like a puppet? Should we be keeping an eye out for something like this? Well, here's where things get weird. Someone recently spotted something strange inside a sewer pipe. It was this slimy, mold-like thing. It was brown, wet, and unsettling. But the creepiest part was the tiny thread-like strands that were moving, almost like they were alive, wiggling and twitching. But the real question is, what was it? Just some harmless fungus or something we should be concerned about? Because if nature has already come up with things like brain-controlling parasites and insects, who's to say something similar couldn't affect us? What's the first thing you notice when you look at this rock formation? For me, it was a hand. Not just any hand, but a bizarre, almost lifelike one, with fingers clearly visible, as though reaching out from the stone itself. It's strange, right? The longer you stare, the more surreal it feels, like it's just too perfect to be natural. But the real question is, how did this formation come to be? Could it just be a coincidence that it looks so much like a hand, or is there something more to it? Something about it makes you wonder whether nature has a hand,
pun intended,
in creating things that seem almost too deliberate to be random. What do you think? A man was driving home late one night when he encountered something truly bizarre in the sky. Suspended in midair was a tall, dark figure, its form eerily still against the backdrop of the night. It was as if a cloaked entity was hovering, defying gravity itself. Shocked and frozen in place, the man grabbed his phone and started filming. The figure had no discernible features, just a shadowy presence looming above. Some believe it could be a supernatural entity like a witch, a spirit, or something otherworldly. Others argue that it might be a UFO, cleverly disguised or cloaked in darkness. Skeptics suggest it could be a hoax, perhaps a drone carrying an object to create the illusion of something ominous. But the eerie stillness of the figure, the way it seemed completely unaffected by the wind, made it all the more unsettling. As humans, we communicate with words, sentences, and language. It's how we connect, share ideas, and understand the world around us. We know animals have their unique sounds too, and based on that, we assume they communicate through their own systems and ways of talking to each other. One morning, a woman was on her way to an appointment when she noticed something that made her stop in her tracks. Two cats were in the middle of the sidewalk facing each other. But it wasn't just a casual stare-off. They were moving their mouths as if they were talking to each other. It looked like a little conversation was going on, with the cat seemingly saying something and the other responding in kind. The sight was so adorable that it almost looked like a pair of neighbors having an early morning gossip session. So do animals have their own kind of language that we just don't understand? Maybe we'll never know for sure, but it's cute to imagine.
Okay.
They say that when someone is close to death, they begin to see the other side. There are countless stories of people witnessing strange lights, angels, or even deceased loved ones before they pass. Something similar happened to a young woman's grandmother. Her grandmother was elderly and frail and had been admitted to hospice care. Everyone knew she didn't have much time left. Then, just a few days before she passed, something eerie was captured on the security camera in a hospital room. It was late at night, the room was dimly lit, and she was lying in bed. But then she started talking, not to the nurses, not to her family, just to the air. Her hands slowly lifted as if she was trying to grasp something that wasn't there. Then, in a soft whisper, she said, "Okay," followed by what sounded like "Mama." When her family saw the footage, they were stunned, but also comforted. You see, years ago, she'd lost her own daughter, and in that moment, they truly believed that her child had come to take her home. Though their hearts were heavy with grief, they found peace in the idea that she wasn't leaving alone. Instead, she was stepping into a place where love was already waiting for her.
Okay.
By now, you already know about La Llorona, the crying ghost woman who wanders searching for her drowned kids. People have been telling stories about it for years, but this latest sighting is a little different. A woman was out for a late-night walk when she suddenly heard crying. Not loud, not wailing, just soft, distant sobs. She stopped, looked around, and that's when she saw her. Up ahead, a woman appeared from around a corner and started walking forward. She was dressed in a black top and what looked like white or gray sweatpants. Nothing too unusual, right? But as the witness kept watching, something wasn't right. The woman kept walking step by step down an empty road, and then just like that, she disappeared. Poof, gone. No turn, no sudden sprint, no hiding spot, just straight up vanished into thin air. Now here's the weird part. We all know La Llorona is usually seen in a long white robe, her wild black hair hanging in messy strands over her face. But this one was in modern clothes pants even. Since when does La Llorona wear sweatpants? So what's the deal here? Did La Llorona finally switch up her fashion, or was this just another lost soul wandering the night? Either way, I'd be getting the hell out of there. This towering formation is known as Devil's Tower, and it stands deep in the heart of Wyoming, quiet and unshaken. No one really knows how long it's been there. From a distance, it looked like a massive stone pillar, as if something ancient and powerful shaped it long ago. Now, while some folks see it as just a geological formation, recently there's been a lot of buzz online with people rethinking what this thing might actually be. One theory that's really gone on is that the Devil's Tower could be a petrified giant or even a massive doorway that once belonged to a creature or being far beyond our understanding. Over the years, strange stone structures like this have been spotted all over the world, and in each case, some believe they're not just rock formations, but remnants of ancient giants or massive beings that somehow turned to stone over time. It's tied to the idea of petrification. It's a process where something living becomes stone, whether through some natural phenomenon or maybe even something more supernatural. Sure, it's not just a theory that mainstream science talks about much, but when you look at formations like this, it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is the Devil's Tower just a natural wonder, or could it be the fossilized remains of something colossal? We have a lot of innovative technology these days, from drones, robots, AI, and many more, all coming from China. It seems like China is on a mission to race ahead into a future where technology is everything. And honestly, they might be closer than we think. Take a look at this. It's a futuristic flying vehicle created by a company called EHang, and yes, it flies. It looks like a massive drone, except instead for carrying packages, it carries a person. Just imagine letting this thing lift you into the air. It's kind of crazy, right? Taxis are now flying, though to be fair, this looks more like a flying motorcycle than an actual car, but still, a drone that carries people, that's straight out of sci-fi. But here's a thought. Well, doesn't it seem a little dangerous? Just look at those exposed propellers. One wrong move and, well, let's not think about that. And what about the noises? Motorbikes are already loud enough with their engines roaring down the street.
Love that sound.
Now these things will be buzzing above us like giant houseflies filling the sky. It might be the future, but will it be annoying? I'm not sure where this footage was taken, but what's shown is pretty bizarre. It starts with something strange in the sky, like a weird line cutting through the air. And it's not just any line. It looks like some sort of portal opening up in the sky and connecting to another one across the heavens. Have you ever heard of space laser weapons? Well, they're a thing. It's a military weapon designed to shoot incredible powerful beams of energy or lasers at huge targets in space, or even on Earth. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but these lasers could intercept missiles or even break apart asteroids headed for Earth. It's known as a directed energy weapon, or DEW for short. People don't talk much about it, but there have always been whispers about its existence. So if what's captured on this footage is some kind of space laser in action, the real question is, what could they possibly be aiming at? A missile, a satellite, or is there something else out there in the sky that we don't know about yet? Are we even safe anymore? It feels like with each passing year, our privacy is just easier and easier to access. And now, it seems even the birds might not be what they appear to be. So get this. A man caught a pigeon. Nothing unusual there, right? But when he shined a UV light on its wing, strange patterns lit up. Not markings you'd expect from nature. These looked like codes or imprints, almost like something stamped into the feathers. Naturally, the internet lost it. People started asking if this was a spy pigeon. Some folks even suggested it could be part of some surveillance program. I mean, we've seen weirder things like insect drones and camera-equipped animals, but then others pointed out that this might actually be a racing pigeon. Racing pigeons are often marked for tracking, and some use UV reactive ink to help identify them during races or at checkpoints. So this could be nothing more than a clever way to track birds during competition. Still, it does make you wonder. With how far tech has come and how small devices are getting, who's to say something like this isn't possible? Back in the day, there was a wave of stories about people claiming to have been abducted by aliens or their livestock disappearing under mysterious circumstances, sometimes even turning up mutilated. While skeptics dismissed these stories as myths, many people truly believed they were real. And that's exactly why this footage has sparked so much debate. It comes from a news broadcast in Argentina. In the clip, a man is standing in front of a field, talking to the camera with nothing unusual at first, but then something strange happens in the background. A beam of light suddenly shapes itself into the ground, and right before everyone's eyes, a cow is lifted into the sky, and just like that, it vanishes. When people saw this, they were stunned. Some insisted
about you, and it's no one else like you is what they're getting. Positive vibes only.
Abduction on camera.
Shout out to King Sauce Balls in the building.
Just another internet trick, or did the UFO take a cow on live TV? Back in 2024, a deep-sea camera captured something strange in the ocean depths. At first glance, everything looks normal. The water is familiar, deep blue, nothing out of the ordinary, just quiet, dark, and still. But then, something swims across the frame, and it's not a fish. Look closely. This thing has a human-like upper body and a fishtail, your classic storybook-style mermaid. People online were divided. Some are absolutely convinced that it's proof mermaids are real. The way it moves and the shape doesn't resemble any known sea creature. Others, of course, are skeptical. They call it a hoax, CGI, or maybe just a trick of the light and shadow. But even marine biologists were caught off guard. None could confidently say what it was. So, is this truly a mermaid caught on camera, or just another deep-sea mystery that'll remain unexplained? Alright, Bigfoot enthusiasts, this one's for you. If you've been waiting for some fresh sightings, buckle up, because this just might be one of the clearest captures we've seen in a while. Two hikers were out near Mount St. Helens when they spotted something unusual moving through the snowy terrain. This happened in February 2025, so yeah, pretty recent. Now, they weren't out there looking for anything weird, just enjoying the mountain views, snapping a few photographs, but that's when they saw it. This massive figure trudging through the woods, and no, this wasn't a person in winter gear. From the images, you can clearly see a large creature with broad shoulders and that iconic dome-shaped head. Its fur was brown and thick, and the way it moved, it didn't look staged or human. Its posture was hunched forward, head slightly bowed, like it was deep in thought, or maybe just doing its own thing, not even caring if it was being watched. The hikers said the creature stood somewhere between 7 to 8 feet tall, didn't make any sudden movements or seem aggressive, just calmly walking by. Luckily, one of them had the reflexes to start snapping pictures, and these aren't your usual blurry, out-of-focus Bigfoot photographs either. These images are surprisingly clear. You can see the shape, the stance, and even the texture of its fur. No wild zooming needed. So, of course, the internet's been split down the middle. Some are calling it one of the best Bigfoot images of the years, while others are saying it's just a guy in a really well-made suit. But let's be honest, we've seen enough hoaxes to spot the bad ones, and this doesn't quite look like a fake, or does it? In the paranormal community, there's a long-standing theory about reptilian beings. These creatures are said to walk amongst us, hiding in plain sight. Some believe they're shapeshifters, others claim they're part of a powerful hidden society. Now, take a look at this live broadcast footage. A woman is being interviewed, and if you pay close attention to her neck, you'll notice it looks like it's bulging. Some people think it's just a trick of lighting or an odd camera angle, but others are convinced it's a reptilian trait surfacing for a moment. There's a frame where her face briefly resembles the classic reptilian shape people often describe, and it happens in just a split second. Could it be a glitch, or did the camera catch something it wasn't supposed to? For those who don't know, the concept of UFOs has been around for quite a while. Some believe they're even mentioned in the Bible, specifically in the book of Enoch. That ancient text describes strange flying objects and beings from the sky, something that many believe could be early accounts of UFO encounters. And that brings us to this bizarre sighting. A man in Santa Monica was at the beach when he noticed something unusual hovering above the ocean. It was a strange glowing object in the sky, rotating, yet staying in one place, almost as if it was watching. The resemblance to the descriptions in the book of Enoch was uncanny, and that's why people have started calling it Enoch UFO. So was this just some kind of drone, or could this really be a UFO? This next piece of footage was shared by a homeowner whose property borders a wooded area. It's pretty common for deer to wander into their yards, so they have a motion-activated camera set up to catch any movement, but this time what they caught was not a deer. Instead of the usual wildlife, the camera picked up something strange, a white, vertical mass just floating silently through the yard. It moved slowly and almost deliberately, but it wasn't shaped like any animal or person. It was more like a column of mist standing upright and gliding across the space. This wasn't a lens flare or a reflection. The motion sensor was triggered, which means something physically had to be there. Reflections alone don't set off the sensor. So what was it? Some viewers believe it's a ghost, maybe the spirit of someone who lived near the area. Others say it could be a forest spirit. We got another potential mermaid sighting to dive into.
See what I did there?
This one was captured along the shores of the ocean, and it's stirring up a lot of debate online. In the footage, you can see what looks like a pale human-like figure with a green fishtail. The creature appears to be swimming, then quickly dives under the water and disappears. It's a short clip, but it definitely raises questions. Some people believe this is authentic mermaid evidence, while others aren't convinced. One commenter pointed out that the way the creature moves is too stiff and awkward. A real mermaid would glide much more gracefully, like how marine life naturally moves into water. This left us wondering if someone faked it just to get views, or if it was actually a glimpse of something hiding beneath the waves. Ever heard of Project Stargate? It was a secret program funded by the CIA where people were trained to use psychic abilities to see places without physically being there. These individuals, known as remote viewers, were tasked with spying on military bases, gathering intelligence on the Soviet Union, and in some cases even trying to see into space to locate extraterrestrial life. Sounds like something straight out of Stranger Things, right? Think of Eleven and her abilities. That's basically what the government was experimenting with. This project was not just some short-lived experiment. It ran for over 20 years as part of a larger Stargate program. These days, you don't hear much about it, but its records are buried deep in CIA archives. Officially, it's been shut down, but if it was all nonsense and never worked, then why did it go on for so long? Some say it was just a failed attempt at psychic warfare. Others believe there's more to it and that the government knows something they're not telling us. So what do you think? You ever stumble across something in the woods that just shouldn't be there? Something that makes you stop in your tracks and rethink your whole day? Well, that's exactly what happened to a park ranger out in Tennessee. She was just taking a normal walk through a wildlife park with her friend, probably expecting nothing more than birds and trees, when something unusual caught her eye. Right there on the forest floor was a strange metal hatch. Naturally, she went to check it out. When she opened it, she found a glass cover beneath it. She carefully removed the glass, and what she saw underneath was wild. It was the entrance to some kind of underground bunker with the staircase leading down into who knows where, just sitting there, hidden in the middle of the forest. Both the ranger and a friend were stunned, and while they were definitely curious, they weren't about to go crawling into a dark tunnel with no backup. Smart move. Now, if you've been following this channel for a while, you know this isn't the first time something like this has popped up. Mysterious underground structures are showing up all over the place. Some are tucked away, some are right out in the open, and every time people are left with more questions than answers. Most of these are said to be old wartime bunkers or forgotten emergency shelters, but folks in the paranormal community, well, let's just say they're not so sure. Could this be a secret research site, ancient underground facility, or maybe something that was never meant to be found? It's starting to feel like nowhere is truly safe anymore, not even our own kitchens. The very tools we used to cook and think are harmless might be putting our health at serious risk. A recent investigation has uncovered something disturbing. Some cooking utensils are made with harmful chemicals that slowly seep into our food over time. These aren't just any chemicals. The utensils are often coated with materials containing nanoparticles, tiny particles that can be tossed.
My life, son.
Sauce the boss. It's his birthday. Everybody wish him happy birthday.
Oh, this is big right here, y'all. Everybody wish Sauce, the official boss, happy birthday, man. Let's go. Let's see it in the timeline. I like to wish Sauce.
Sauce the boss.
I like to wish Sauce the boss a happy birthday. I like to give a big shout out to Ashley Gordon. I see somebody say Ashley Gordon. Charlie Fields. I like how that sound, yo. I like to give a big happy birthday to Sauce the boss. Feel like we in the rooftop or something, you know what I mean? I like to give a big shout out to Benny Chapo, the official capo. Shout out to Sauce the boss, man. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Hope
You
this
don't
day
quit
was
the
special.
short shit. Yeah. Break of dawn. Call me Megatron.